When you think of absolute military supremacy, what comes to mind? Is it stealth fighters flying undetected at Mach 2? Nuclear submarines hiding in the deep ocean? Or maybe precision missiles that can strike a target from thousands of miles away? It turns out, all of that high-tech weaponry is secondary without one specific skill. A skill so rare, so incredibly complex, that only one military on Earth actually knows how to do it today. It's not advanced marksmanship, cyber warfare, or tactical strategy. In fact, no other nation has successfully executed it since World War II. We are talking about the lost art of moving entire army divisions, tens of thousands of troops, thousands of armored vehicles, and millions of tons of supplies across an ocean, landing on a hostile continent, and keeping them fueled, fed, and fighting for months on end. Amateurs study tactics. Professionals study logistics. And when it comes to global logistics, the United States military isn't just ahead of the competition. They are unmatched. To understand why this is a lost art for the rest of the world, first we have to look at what a modern military division actually requires. A single U.S. Army armored division consists of roughly 15,000 to 20,000 soldiers. But they don't show up with just backpacks. They bring around 300 M1 Abrams tanks, hundreds of Bradley fighting vehicles, artillery, helicopters, and thousands of support trucks. Now let's do some math. A single M1 Abrams tank weighs over 60 tons and burns through roughly 2 gallons of fuel per mile. Yeah, you heard that right. Multiply that by hundreds of vehicles, and a single armored division consumes over 500,000 gallons of fuel every single day during high-intensity combat operations. Add in 3 gallons of water per soldier per day, tons of ammunition, medical supplies, spare parts, and food. If your supply line breaks for even 48 hours, your multi-billion-dollar division transforms into a collection of very expensive stationary metal boxes. Most powerful nations on Earth have regional militaries. They are exceptionally good at moving troops inside their own borders using domestic railroads and highways. But the moment they have to project power across an ocean, the system collapses. The U.S. military is built entirely around the concept of expeditionary warfare. They don't fight on their own turf. They bring the entire infrastructure of a modern city to their enemy's doorstep, even if it's half the planet away. But how does America actually achieve this? It isn't magic. It's managed by a hidden combatant command called USTRANSCOM, United States Transportation Command. If USTRANSCOM were a commercial business, it would be one of the largest shipping and aviation companies on the planet. They operate on several distinct levels that no other country can match. First, there is the strategic airlift. While most countries struggle to fly a few battalions across a border, the U.S. commands hundreds of C-17 Globemasters and C-5 Galaxies. A C-5 can carry 2 fully loaded Abrams tanks, or an entire company of troops, straight across the globe without stopping, thanks to a massive fleet of dedicated aerial refueling tankers. Although planes are important, the real heavy lifting happens by sea via the Military Sealift Command. The U.S. maintains fleets of LMSRs, large, medium-speed roll-on, roll-off ships. These are essentially floating parking garages the size of aircraft carriers. A single one of these ships can carry an entire armored task force's vehicles. The U.S. Navy is a blue water navy, which is a maritime military force capable of sustained, independent operations across the deep, open oceans. Unlike coastal fleets, these highly advanced navies possess the global reach and heavy logistics required to project military power, protect trade routes, and conduct combat operations far from their home shores. And they don't just wait for a crisis to happen. The U.S. keeps pre-positioning ships permanently stationed in strategic waters like Guam and Diego Garcia. These ships are fully packed with weapons, food, and fuel, just floating out there, waiting. If a conflict breaks out, troops simply fly in with their personal gear, link up with the ships, unpack the armor, and are combat ready in hours. To understand why only the USA retains this capability, you have to realize that this skill was forged in the absolute desperation of World War II. In 1942, the United States faced an unprecedented challenge. It had to wage a total mechanized war across two massive oceans simultaneously. It had to fight thousands of miles away in the fields of Europe while simultaneously hopscotching across tiny, undeveloped islands in the Pacific. While Germany relied on horses for over 70% of its logistics during the invasion of Russia, and Japan ran out of basic supplies on isolated islands, the United States built an industrial assembly line that stretched across the globe. The U.S. didn't just build weapons. They built the weapons. They built nearly 3,000 Liberty cargo ships. They invented standardized packaging. They perfected the art of the Red Ball Express, a massive truck convoy system that kept Allied forces supplied as they sprinted across France. When World War II ended, every other global power was economically ruined. Their infrastructure was destroyed, and their far-reaching logistics networks dissolved. America's network didn't dissolve. They kept refining it, upgrading it, and funding it through the Cold War, Desert Storm, and the War on Terror. For 80 years, while the rest of the world forgot how to move armies across oceans, America not only continued, but perfected and turned it into a science. This brings us to the present day. When military experts look at potential global conflicts, they look past the flashing missiles and look closely at the supply chains. Building a modern fighter jet or a hypersonic missile is a matter of engineering and money. But building a global logistics apparatus? That requires decades of institutional knowledge, global port agreements, thousands of specialized transport assets, and a culture that treats the delivery of a spare part with the same importance as firing a missile. The ultimate military skill isn't the ability to destroy. It's the ability to sustain.